Oh, wait, escapably. Today we're going to be talking about Hercules' third labor, which is to catch the Hind of Cyrenia. First two labors, Hercules had to kill an animal, specifically the Nemean lion and the Lernaean hydra, and now he has to go after the Hind of Cyrenia. Hind is a old-fashioned, kind of fancy word for a deer, and this particular deer is immortal. You see, when Diana, or Artemis, and Apollo were first on the scene as gods, both of them were using bows, and Apollo didn't really like that. They decide to have a contest. Diana really doesn't care if anyone else uses the bow, but Apollo is really upset about this and challenges her to this contest. The gods make six immortal animals, perfect examples of their species, and set them off on the earth. And whoever can catch or kill more of these animals with the bow and arrow will win the rights. Diana shuts Apollo out. She catches all five of the other animals and lets the Hind of Cyrenia go. Like, actually has it dead to rights and deliberately lets it go. It's been wandering the earth ever since, and Diana's got like a special affinity for it. Eurystheus wants it alive, so Hercules sets out. What does the Cyrenian hind look like? In most versions of the story, it's pure white, a very standout kind of color. It's got golden antlers and hooves of bronze. If you know anything about deer hunting, the antlers are usually the part that you take with you. They're the part that you use as sort of a trophy. So solid gold trophy antlers, hooves of bronze, which make it kind of dangerous in ways that most deers usually aren't. It tends to stand out. Hercules has experience with living out in the wilds. He's got experience with this kind of thing from his youth being taught by the centaurs. So he gathers his hunting gear, takes some poisoned arrows and some non-poisoned arrows, and sets out to look after it. He has to track this thing for a long time. It stays away from civilization. It's a wild animal, and it's sort of the epitome of wild animals. He has to track it for an extremely long time. There's stories where he sets traps for it, and it disarms the traps, like literally like just hits the snare with one of its hooves and cuts the string for it, eats all of Hercules' bait, and runs away. One of the more common versions of the story is that Hercules literally tracks the thing for a year, just goes after it, pursuing it relentlessly until he out-endures the thing. Obviously, tracking it for a year is extreme, but there's actually evidence that early humans used this method of hunting. They call it persistence predation, or persistence hunting, where literally, because human beings have better endurance than anything else in the animal kingdom, which is true, look it up, we just sort of outlast our prey, and we walk after it, we run after it until it's got nothing left, and we do. When Hercules tracks the animal for a really long time, he wounds it with an arrow in most versions, a non-poison one, and gets it behind the thigh. Diana and Apollo confront him about this. Diana's especially mad. We can picture Hercules carrying this thing home on his shoulders and seeing these twin gods in the corner. Hercules defers to the gods. And in fact, if you remember correctly from our first video, Apollo is the one who got Hercules into this particular circumstance at the time. He still has to give up the hunt. And when he goes back to Eurystheus empty-handed, Eurystheus is furious until Hercules explains what's going on. Now, to me as a teacher, this always sounded a little bit like a kid coming in and saying that they don't have their homework because the gods told me I couldn't bring it in. It sounds a little bit off. And Eurystheus is about to tear into Hercules when finally he gets a sign. The sun and the moon coordinating together to give Hercules this sign kind of covers for him when there's an unexpected eclipse out of nowhere, one that nobody in Eurystheus' entire city had predicted. It freaks people out. Hercules kind of shrugs, points up at it, and says, "I'm telling you, they told me I couldn't take this deer." Eurystheus thinks about it, says, "Okay, fine. But you're still not done. That's only 3, and we've got 7 more labors to go." For this labor, again, notice the general theme. It's sort of Hercules is almost sort of a civilizing agent. He's still going out into the wilderness and bringing back useful things or destroying things that are harmful to people. Nice, simple, straightforward labor. We get the gods getting involved in this, and that's basically it for today. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next video.